Today we're reading references out of As Bill Sees It to success, beginning on page 19. The wine of success. Disagreeable or unexpected problems are not the only ones that call for self-control. We must be quite as careful when we begin to achieve some measure of importance in material success. For no people have ever loved personal triumphs more than we have loved them. We drank of success as of a wine which could never fail to make us feel elated. Blinded by prideful self-confidence, we were apt to play the big shot. Now that we're in AA and sober, winning back the esteem of our friends and business associates, we find that we still need to exercise special vigilance. As an insurance agent, as insurance against the dangers of big shotism, we can also check ourselves by remembering that we are today sober only by the grace of God, and that any success we may be having is far more His success than ours. Page 40. No member of AA, this is material achievement. No member of AA wants to deprecate material achievement, nor do we enter into debate with the many who cling to the belief that to satisfy our basic natural desires is the main object of life. But we are sure that no class of people in the world ever made a worse mess of trying to live by this formula than alcoholics. We demand more than our share of security, prestige, and romance. When we seem to be succeeding, we drank to dream still greater dreams. When frustrated, even in part, we drank for oblivion. In all these strivings, so many of them well-intentioned, our crippling handicap was our lack of humility. We lacked the perspective to see that character building and spiritual values had to come first, and that material satisfactions were simply byproducts, not the chief aims of life. 46. True ambition and faults. We have had a much keener look at ourselves and those about us. We have seen that we were prodded by unreasonable fears or anxieties into making a life business of winning fame, money, and what we thought was leadership. So false pride became the reverse side of that ruinous coin marked fear. We simply had to be number one, people to cover up our deep-lying inferiorities. True ambition is not what we thought it was. True ambition is the profound desire to live usefully and walk humbly under the grace of God. 165. Success in 12th stepping. We now see that in 12th stepping, the immediate results are not so important. Some people start out working with others and have immediate success. They are likely to get cocky. Those of us who are not so successful at first get depressed. As a matter of fact, the successful worker differs from the unsuccessful only in being lucky about his prospects. He simply hits newcomers who are ready and able to stop at once. Given the same prospects, the seemingly unsuccessful person would have produced almost the same results. You have to work on a lot of newcomers before the law of averages commences to assert itself. All true communication must be found on mutual need. We saw that each sponsor would have to admit humbly his own needs as clearly as those of his prospect. 177. Money before and after. In our drinking time, we acted as if the money supply was inexhaustible, though between binges we'd sometimes go to the other extreme and become miserly. Without realizing it, we were just accumulating funds for the next spree. Money was the symbol of pleasure and self-importance. As our drinking became worse, money was only an urgent requirement which could supply us with the next drink and the temporary comfort of oblivion it brought. Although financial recovery is on the way for many of us, we find we cannot place money first. For us, material well-being always follows spiritual progress. It never precedes. 207. The fellowship's future. It seems proved that AA can stand on its own feet anywhere and under any conditions. It has outgrown any dependence it might once have had on the personalities or efforts of a few of the older members like me. New, able, and vigorous people keep coming to the surface, turning up where they are needed. Besides, AA has reached enough spiritual maturity to know that its final dependence is upon God. Clearly, our first duty to AA's future is to maintain in full strength what we now have. Only the most vigilant caretaking can assure this. Never should we be lulled into complacent self-satisfaction by the wide acclaim and success that are everywhere ours. This is the subtle temptation which could render us stagnant today, perchance disintegrating us tomorrow. We have always rallied to meet and transcend failure and crisis. Problems have been our stimulants. How well, though, shall we be able to meet the problems of success? 235. Looking for lost faith. Any member of AA can say, we were diverted from our childhood faith. As material success began to come, we felt we were winning at the game of life. This was exhilarating, and it made us happy. Why should we be bothered with theological abstractions and religious duties, or with the state of our souls here and hereafter? The will to win should carry us through. But then alcohol began to have its way with us. Finally, when all our scorecards read 0, and we saw that one more strike would put us out of the game forever, we had to look at our lost faith. It was in AA that we rediscovered it. $254. Satisfactions of right living. How wonderful is the feeling that we do not have to be especially distinguished among our fellows in order to be useful and profoundly happy. Not many of us can be leaders of prominence, nor do we wish to be. Service gladly rendered, obligations squarely met, troubles well accepted are solved with God's help. The knowledge that at home or in the world outside we are partners in a common effort, the fact that in God's sight all human beings are important, the proof that love freely given brings a full return, the certainty that we are no longer isolated, and alone in self-constructed prisons. The surety that we can fit and belong in God's scheme of things. These are the satisfactions of right living for which no pomp or circumstance, no heap of material possessions could possibly be substitutes.